Oh, hold on. I'll be right back. Alright. What's the game you're playing? Is it like dating sim? I don't know. Yeah. Katawa Shoujo is it's basically like a readable novel. I have, it's, hold on. Let me swap. Okay. Alright. What? There we go. What? Mm, mm. What? That is so. What in the world? Hold on. What in the background? Okay. That freaking weird. Hello? What? Why is it? I could have sworn that this was. Hold on. Properties. Let me go to the other window. Properties? No, that is. Hold on. Yes. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, that was Revy from Black Lagoon. Sorry about that. Okay, now how get this game capture? No, I don't want that. No, wrong one, wrong one. There we go. Okay. I gotta add a freaking game capture. I thought I freaking did all this. Okay. Uh. Window. Okay. Shoujo. Okay. Me. What? Oh, come on. Why? Why does this have to do this? Right when I. Come on. Why does this have to do this? Allow transparency. Where? Come on. Why is this doing this to me? Okay. 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 What? Let me. What? Why is this doing now? Why am I having scuff? Why can't this just... Hold on. What? What? The streamer friends, it's not a stream without the... Don't remind me. It just closed. Why did it close? Hold on. Yes? Hold on. My brother's asking me something. Sorry about that. I'm back. Gosh. Okay. What in God's green earth is going on? Okay. You know what? It just decided to close. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, there we go. What? Oh, come on. That's... It's not... I just want... I'm trying. I streamed this not too long ago. Why is this doing to me? Okay, let's see. Hold on. No, that's not the one I want. Media source, no. Background. Video capture. Proportions? Nope, that is for my capture card. That's for the image. New notation. New window. Okay, maybe this one. That's in unison. No. How do I... Okay. Game capture. This one has to be the one. Okay. When nothing works and everything breaks. I'm glad you're finding this enjoyable. 19 by 20. HP. There. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now where did? There we go. Okay. All right. Are you gonna work? Are you gonna work? Please tell me. Come on. Just. What? What? No. I don't. Okay. No. Oh, nuts. Hold on. Options. I don't want full screen. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let me get back up. Okay. Okay. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Well, let me make that a little bit bigger for you. Okay. Let me try this again. Okay. Return. Okay. Gosh, I hate when things break on stream. I do apologize about the delay. Let me have something. Okay. Okay. All right. Is the audio good on your end? All right. Let's load. All right. Playtime 9 hours and 54 minutes. All right. All right. All right. My brother was just calling me. It's very fun to watch. Thanks. Yeah, I will be. Okay. I don't think I like riding the bus. Pretty comfortable. Yeah, let me just find out what my brother needed real quick, and then I will just I need to tell him I am busy. Okay, cool. The audio is good. Nice. All right, I will be right back. Sorry about this. Just scuffing everything. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Okay, there should be no more delays. Okay. Alright. I don't think I like riding on the bus. Actually, I think it's pretty comfortable saying that is a fact. Alright, for context for this, if you don't know, a lot of the main characters within this game, the entire of this game is focused in a school for the disabled. Our main character here has a major heart problem where he can't cause too many issues, otherwise he'll have a heart attack and could possibly die. The other characters within the show are, one's got no arms, one's missing her one character has her legs missing, one character has her arms missing, one is a yes, one character she is blind, one character she is a burn victim. Overall, unlike a lot of media today that make that makes like a lot of lazy writers nowadays that make just that one aspect of the character their entire personality. They actually have done a really good job on fleshing the characters out in this, which it's very appreciated. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a little backstory. I'm close to like 10 hours in, I believe. I don't know how much I got longer, but I do want to try to finish this up. And for next week, I am probably going to be doing some more Inscription. And then I might do some Marvel Rivals, but for right now, I want to go. But I do eventually, at some point, want to continue Dark Tide. So those are just some things that is going to be going. Okay, cool. All right. Let me start over again. I don't think I like riding the bus. Actually, I think I'm pretty comfortable saying that is a fact. They sway a lot and they smell funny and you can feel every bump in the road. I'm really not looking forward to this. Plus, Emmy's legs keeping making a clanking noise that draws the attention of everyone else on the bus. She's in shorts again, and she's got long socks drawn up on her prosthetic, so they don't look so obviously false again. But that doesn't stop the odd look or two every time her legs bump together with an audible clank. I shift nervously in my seat, and Emmy raises an eyebrow questioningly. Also, the main character and Emmy right now, they are dating right now, so that's a whole dynamic going on right now. The build-up was really good. Shift nervously in my seat, and Emmy raises an eyebrow questioningly. She doesn't seem to mind the stares, either that or she doesn't even notice that people are staring. I'm sure she's gotten her fill of odd looks before, and after a certain amount of time, I doubt she's noticed anymore. Not that she'd ever tell me if I'd ask. Another fact is, I'm just uncomfortable about the bus. Can't seem to come to terms with the fact that Emmy appears to be trying to bring me closer while at the same time pushing me away. The nurse said she trusts me even if it doesn't look like it. But I'm not sure I can trust the nurse. He's protective of Emmy just like I'm protective of Emmy, and I'd be likely to say something to make her look good if someone asks me about her. So he might just be doing that. Still, there was something about the way he seemed genuinely surprised that Emmy invited me along. Maybe last night's talk helped more than I think, but I'm still worried. Meeting the parents is a big deal, right? Not that I haven't already met Emmy's mother, but that was just an acquaintance. Now it's going to be Emmy's boyfriend with everything that implies. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest, an echo of the snow-covered afternoon that feels like it was so long ago that it might as well be another life entirely. Except then, I don't know what was going on. I also didn't have medication to help prevent things spiraling out of control. I've come a long way in terms of physical health, and for the second time today, I feel like I'll be able to live normally now, or at least as normally as possible. Now, if only I could manage my relationship as well as I manage my heart, I'd be in great shape. Well, we're here. Emmy grabs my hand as soon as we stepped off the bus. She starts heading down the street almost immediately. Come on, we've got a couple blocks until my place. What? Oh, okay. I follow Emmy down the street, watching her confident stride. She's setting kind of a quick pace for just a walk. I guess she's anxious to get there. So, does your mom do this sort of thing often? Nah, not too frequently. Mom's never been much for playing hostess. Oh, yeah? Yeah, my dad was always the one pushing her to have people over. This sudden unprompted reference to her father catches me off guard. And from the look on Emmy's face, I'm not sure she meant to mention him, but I think I've only ever heard her talk about him once. And just to just in case, you probably don't realize, but it's referenced heavily that Emmy's father died in a car crash. It hasn't been explicitly stated, but it's been referenced. Well, at least alluded to. All I remember is that Emmy's mom told me that he wasn't around anymore. Oh, your mom prefers solitude? Emmy laughs, and either from relief that I didn't ask about her father or from finding my statement actually funny. She's why I'm such an outgoing person, you know? She just prefers to be a guest rather than a host. It's less stressful that way, or so she says. Clearly, she's never had to meet her girlfriend's mother for dinner. Emmy giggles again and speaks in a teasing tone. Nervous? Hiso? You shouldn't be, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Just dinner at my house, that's all. Yeah, but have you ever brought home a boyfriend before? I confess that part of me dreads hearing the answer to this. I know very little of Emmy's past relationships. I don't even know if there was a past relationship. No, I guess I haven't. Maybe this really is kind of a big deal after all. Oh, good, now I feel twice as nervous. Though, to tell the truth, I'm pretty happy to hear that I'm the first one. Maybe we've got something special after all. He was out getting the milk for 20 years. Ow! Oh, that hurts. Sorry about that. Bolstered by this new thought, I managed to calm down considerably by the time Emmy knocks on her front door. Hey, Mom, open up, we're here. The door swings open and Miss Aburzaki stands grinning at her daughter. The grin is still surprisingly similar to Emmy's. I'm never going to get used to that. You know, people normally wait for a few minutes before they start shouting at the door. And most mothers say hello to their daughter instead of scolding them right away. And of course, welcome home, dear. I've missed you. An affectionate hug later, we're inside, and it's only then that Emmy's mom seems to remember that I'm actually here. Ah, and hello to you too, Hiso. How are you? I'm quite well, thank you. Nice to not have school to worry about for a little bit. Ah, yes, you finished up your exams, haven't you? That might be quite a relief for you both. It certainly weighed off of my mind, that's for sure. Mine too. I think I slept well for the first time in weeks. Last night from relief alone. If this news is a surprise to Emmy's mother, she doesn't show it. Still, her response. Ah, dangnabbit! Seriously. Hello? I was calling her, but I'm in the middle of a stream right now. Yeah, thank you, bye. Silence my phone. No, I don't want that. Return. Okay. Sorry about that. My sister was calling me for something quick. If this news is a surprise to Emmy's mother, she doesn't show it. Still, her response betrays a note of interest. Is that so? I'm very glad to hear that, Emmy. You know, I get worried when you get all wound up about, well, exams. Certainly, Emmy's mother knows something I don't, or rather, she doesn't know that Emmy's told me about the nightmares. It's interesting being able to observe how Miss Iburzaki covers for Emmy that protective instinct to make sure that I don't know any more than Emmy's willing to tell me. I suppose Emmy's got more in common with quirks than I ever realized. Moves around fast, impossible to understand through direct observation, yet she has an effect on everyone she encounters. I wonder if Miss Iburzaki will figure out that I know about the nightmares, or is she just keeping everything secret from everybody? Yeah, it's not as bad this year as... Oh! It's not been as bad this year as in the past. He still helped me to stay focused. Okay, I know that's not true. She even cut off contact outside of school hours during exam week. But she did see me during the day, and she told me more than once that the morning run was the only thing she looked forward to during the exam, so maybe it's not that much of a lie. Either way, to hear that being around has helped even a little makes me feel a bit better. Emmy's mother raises an eyebrow at this statement. Either she doesn't believe Emmy, or she's surprised that I am. Hello. Karamaru, hello. Welcome in. We are playing, if you do not know, we are, well, you probably do know, but I am playing Katawa shoujo, and if you have any questions for me, don't be afraid to ask. Well, then it appears that it is a good thing that you two have become so close. I tell you to take good care of my daughter, Hiso, but it looks like you're already doing that. Emmy grins at this and seems to take pride in my having managed to integrate myself with her mother so easily. Actually, I'd say your daughter's been the one taking care of me. She's got me out running. I've probably been more active since meeting her than I ever was even before. I'd actually never thought of it that much, nor had I ever appreciated the humor in it. I wasn't too active before the heart attack. Pickup games or soccer don't really count since they weren't that common. So now that I know for sure that I have a weak heart, now I run every day, pushing my luck with the help of my medication. I chuckle quietly, then realize that I never finished my sentence. Well, before I had my heart attack and wound up at school here, it comes out casually. There was a time I would have thought twice about talking about what was wrong with me at all. But now, it just seems silly to care, especially in the company of Emmy and her mother. If Emmy can be cavalier about her disability, then so can I. I think back to the track meet where Emmy declared herself the fastest thing on no legs. The fact that her obvious loss has never seemed to bother her, at least not in public. Being stuck in a wheelchair frustrated her, I know, but even that was something she dealt with on her own, despite my efforts to the contrary. Emmy has a way of bringing out the more active side of people. I've never quite figured out how she does it. Those puppy dog eyes she gets for starters. I'm not surprised she managed to rope you into an exercise routine. If Rin weren't just as stubborn as she is, I'm sure Emmy would have gotten her out and running with you too. Oh, that reminds me. Rin, say hello. I drift to the outer edges of the conversation again as we move into the dining room to eat. It smells delicious in here, and the spread that Emmy's mom has produced is impressive. Whoa, you made enough to feed an army here. Is it too much? Well, you can always take some leftovers with you when you go. That sounds great. I can only handle cafeteria food for so long. Something home cooked would be a welcome change of pace. What he said, thanks, Mom. The food tastes as good as it smells, and there's a lull in the conversation while we all dig in. Emmy assaults her plate with the usual amount of gusto, and I will admit that I set a pretty fast pace myself. So Hiso, I hear that you and my daughter here have gotten rather close, The urge to say something like, not really, is so strong that I open my mouth just to say it, but then reassert control. We are close, there's no getting around it. I mean, Emmy's brought me here, hasn't she? Fortunately, both Emmy and her mother seem to take my reaction as a sign that I am caught off guard rather than considering saying something cruel. I suppose we have I blame the morning runs myself. You make it sound like a bad thing, Hiso. Well, I for one found it a relief. Why is that? Emmy's always been a popular girl, but never made many close friends. This is a bit news to me. I've always seen Emmy chatting with her classmates in the hallways. And certainly the whole track team seems to love her, but it's true that she chooses to isolate herself during lunch with Rin and me. Not exactly the sort of behavior one expects from a popular girl, after all. Then again, I've experienced her unwillingness to get close firsthand, so I can't say I'm not surprised. I was beginning to have my doubts. Emmy rolls her eyes to the ceiling and grumbles something I can't quite make out. Huh? What? What's that you just said? Nothing. Mr. Black chokes on her drink with laughter. You've been hanging out with the nurse too long, Emmy. I'm going to have to talk to him about corrupting my daughter. Somehow, I don't think that would be very effective. I learned most of it from you anyway, not the nurse. Don't listen to her, Hiso. She's a born liar. You're right. Oh, I don't know, Emmy. I think your mother has a point. What? You traitor. You're supposed to take my side in this. Yeah, but you did lie about your leg after the meet. Ow! A kick in the shins from unmistakably plastic foot cuts me off, but not before my eyebrows shoot upwards. What about your leg? It wasn't a big deal, that's all. I was just in a wheelchair for a bit. The last few mumbled words were quickly deciphered by Emmy's mother. I suspect she had experience with this sort of thing, and a worried frown appears on her face. So that's why he kept dodging my calls. Oh, Emmy, I know how much you hate being in a wheelchair. No wonder you've been in such a mood lately. Yeah, she's much happier on her feet, so to speak. Well, of course, she spent enough time in the wheelchair just after the accident. She didn't get prosthetics immediately? No, she had to finish healing up before they let her start the sort of therapy you've got to go through to adjust to these things. Especially since she wanted to run on them. I had no idea. Yeah, it sucked. Oh, did you see Rin's mural at the festival? Emmy's sudden change of topic makes me realize that she's been fidgeting the whole time her mother and I have been talking. I should have figured on her being a little... I should have figured on her shit, I did not mean to do that. No, I didn't make it out to the festival, remember? Although I caught a glimpse of it at your track meet, it seemed pretty weird to me. I think that's more or less what she's going for. She talked a lot about it being dreamlike, or trying to make it dreamlike. Excuse me. Rin's art is one of those things I don't think I'll ever understand. That is true. Rin's art is kind of weird, but that's part of its charm. That's not surprising. I don't think Rin expects to be understood. She told me once that art allows people to understand stuff that they wouldn't understand it otherwise, but all the same, she doesn't think it actually works that way. I'm surprised that Emmy's talked about this with Rin extensively enough to actually have Rin's opinion, such as it is. Although I expect that Rin could not, if she were so inclined, say the same thing about Emmy's. Unless, of course, Emmy is purposely keeping me in the dark about everything, which is likely but unpleasant to think about. I drift down this unpleasant train of thought for a while, losing the track of the conversation. Hey, Emmy, I've been meaning to ask. Huh? Are you going to visit your father this year? From the way she says it, you'd think Emmy's mother was talking about the weather. From the way Emmy reacts, it's clearly not the weather they're talking about. She flinches, a slight jerk of the head backwards, if she's just been slapped in the face. Can we talk about this later? Her voice sounds brittle, strained. It looks as if she's been severely shaken by the question. It seems that Miss Abrazaki misjudged just how close Amy and I are. Some things, it seems, are best not conversed about with me around. Her father is one of those things. The accident to her legs is probably another one of those things, if her reaction to the earlier conversation between her and her mother is any indication. It doesn't take Emmy's mother long to realize she screwed up. Of course we can, dear. I'm sorry to bring it up. I just wanted to ask so I could make plans. It's fine, don't worry about it. Emmy fidgets nervously, as if embarrassed by her own reaction. I confess that her reaction is confusing. She only just mentioned her father to me earlier today, less than a few hours ago, even. Why does a simple question about when she'll visit her father cause such a strong reaction? Unless whatever serenity she claimed to have reached by means of our talk the previous evening was suddenly evaporated. Or it didn't help as much as she thought or claimed. I'll be right back. Gotta visit the little girl's room. Emmy gets up suddenly and leaves the table, leaving me and Mrs. Abrazaki alone. I'm a little conflicted. Should I go after her or should I stay here? It's obvious that Emmy's departure was not based on the call of nature. Something's bothering her, and I have to know what it is. How do I go about it? What do you guys think I should do? I'll wait for you guys' answer before I continue. Talk to her mother or go after her? Emmy is not going to really say anything, although that could happen. But then talking to her mother, she'll probably give me some runaround answers, but it's fairly obvious what's going on here. Alright. Go, 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 go. What does that mean exactly? I don't know. What does that mean? Talk to her mother or go after her? Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right. The only way to find out is to go to the source, and the source is currently pretending that she has to use the toilet. I excuse myself politely from the table and head that way, only to catch sight of Emmy not in the bathroom, but in the kitchen, just next to the living room. Emmy's left the door open, and as I approach, I can see that she's holding on to the table in an attempt to compose herself, an effort that falls as soon as I open my mouth. Doesn't look like nature's call was that urgent. Emmy jumps and glares at me. What are you doing here? I didn't come here to be with other people. I just wanted to help you. You look pretty rattled. I said it was nothing, didn't I? And besides, I thought we'd established that you can't help me. No, we established that you're stubborn. Look who's talking, the guy who followed me. This is different. I want to help you with whatever this is. Funny because I just want you to leave me alone. But why? Why can't you just trust me? We've been over this already, Hiso. I've got to deal with stuff on my own. I won't accept that. You need my help. You just won't take it. My warning seems to have been a little off. I need your help. Oh, no. Well, it's a good thing we met, isn't it? Because otherwise, I guess I'd just be a little broken human being, wouldn't I? No, it's a damn good thing that Hiso came along to save the day, isn't it? Because God knows I can't save myself, can I? I'm just a poor, emotionally damaged girl with no legs, right? Emmy, you know I don't think that. Really, because if you thought differently, then I don't think you'd be here saying I need your help. I've gotten pretty far in life as a normal human being without you. Oh my gosh. She's doing it again. Emmy is way too stubborn for her own good. So what? Nothing we've shared was important. I'm just the guy who hangs out with you? You're my boyfriend, Hiso, not my savior. Well, no, that much is obvious. You won't even consider that I could be a help to you, will you? You'll just ball it all up and hope that a run will solve your problems, or you'll come visit me and we'll fool around until you feel better. That's not being a healthy human being, Emmy. That's not what a relationship means. Well, it's what it means to me right now, Hiso. I wish. She seems to reconsider words just then, a flicker of pain of doubt on her face for a moment. I think she's about to cry. But the moment passed and now she's composed herself again. Whatever that wish was will have to go unspoken. Oh, jeez. Look, I can't do this right now. What, have a serious conversation, be open, be honest? Give a damn about anyone besides yourself and your problems? What do you know about my problems? Nothing. You don't know what I've been through, so don't pretend that you do. I know you have nightmares. I know your father's gone. What happened to him? Emmy head jerks backwards. I've just slapped her. The brittle quality has gotten back into her voice. That's enough. This is stupid. This whole conversation has just been various since Emmy's stonewalling me. What? You won't even answer the question? Fine, keep your secrets. They can lie in the grave as far as I'm concerned. Emmy's eyes widen in shock when she speaks again in a voice that is low and dangerous. Get out of my house, Hiso. The sudden change in her tone snaps me out of my self-righteous anger and makes me realize with dawning horror what I've just said. Emmy, I didn't mean... I said go, Hiso. Tell my mother that she cooked a wonderful meal, but you've forgotten a prior engagement to get out of my house. She's trembling now, shaken with anger and sadness or determination. Her voice is still low, controlled, almost a growl. I reach out to put an arm on her shoulder to apologize for going too far, but she just jerks away from my touch. Get out. What can I do? I walked out of the kitchen and go to the living room on my apology and let myself out. You're telling me... Oh, my lord. The morning alarm sounds, and I roll over, switching it off. My eyes are open blearily to stare at the ceiling. What am I gonna do? Do I get out of bed, go down to the track, and pretend that nothing happened? Will Emmy even show up after last evening's events? I doubt it. Even supposing that she did, what would I do then? Get over this fight? Just dance the same routine next time something's bothering her. I know that I've spoken hastily last evening, especially trying to use her father's leverage, but was anything I said really off the mark? She won't let me in ever, and she'll be forced to suffer alone. Nothing I do, nothing I say is going to change that. She won't change. She's already decided to keep me at arm's length. Can I really bring myself to go down there and see her knowing that I'm never going to get past where I am now? No, I decided I really can't. Not today. I roll over and go back to sleep. She probably won't be there anyway. Similar mental conversation repeats itself when it comes to time to go to lunch and eat in the cafeteria alone. I don't want to see her. The very thought makes me feel ill. That night, I go for a run. I'm solo for the first time since Emmy got sick after the track meet. Skipped seeing the nurse just in case he asked about Emmy. I don't want to talk about her either. The next day, I do the same thing. Alarm off, stay in bed, eat alone, run alone. To fill the time that I would usually be spending with Emmy, I started reading more. It works surprisingly well until I find myself ducking into a restroom because I see her walking down the hall in between classes. If she noticed me, she didn't show it, even though I don't suppose she ever shows anything. Certainly not to the girls from her class. I see things cheerfully to her, or to her fellow track members, especially not to me. Alarm off, stay in bed. Moto and I have lengthy talk about the possibility that string theory is plausible. I don't buy it myself. More than 4 dimensions I can buy, but a bunch of vibrating strings at the subatomic level, that's asking a bit much. Looks like I'm not the only one to think this way too. Apparently, it's not really as strong a theory as it once was. Moto says that just because nobody has found the right way of looking at the data yet. Eat alone. The rooftop is deserted today. I briefly wonder where Emmy and Rin are, but shrug off the question. The important thing is that they weren't here, so I won't have to talk to them. Since I have nobody to talk to, I bring a book with me to read. The weather's nicer if getting a little hot. Hopefully it will be cooler in the evening. A cool breeze seems to back up my theory. Run alone again. It is in fact cooler in the track, no sign of Emmy, which is exactly the sort of thing I'm going for. I stretch out and start my usual run, trying hard to ignore the lack of running partner in front of me. Finding my thoughts drifting damnably to the girlish language incorrect grin, these wide and friendly eyes, her incredibly toned body. I increase the pace to clear my head, chewed up the distance between me and the turns, find the speed that makes me think only of my legs and how much they burn. I glance at my watch as I round the final turn. Nothing that my time's gotten faster. Martin seems a little squirrely tonight, so I give myself a few extra cool-down laps just to be safe. No reason to bring this to the nurse's attention. I'll be fine. Rather Emmy-ish thought to have, I'll admit. I'll have to hope that eventually I'll stop thinking about her so much. I'll finish another book before going to bed that night. I'll have to stop by the library tomorrow. I don't know why I keep the early alarm on anymore, but it wakes me up the next morning just the same. I still turn it off and go back to sleep. In the afternoon, I guess I get ready to head to the cafeteria for another solo lunch. I've got a new book about a couple con men in ancient Persia that I'm pretty excited about reading, and I'm suddenly cornered by Misha. And I guess just Misha. Off to eat alone again, Hee-chan. We've noticed, you know. We? Hee-chan, and I've noticed that you've been spending more time alone. She wanted me to find out why, so I told her that's you. I'm surprised she didn't ask me herself. She would have, but she wanted to get a head start on some paperwork. There's a lot of it since we're coming up on the end of the term, you know. Why the sudden interest in my well-being, anyway? Hee-chan said, it is the duty of student council to keep track of the emotional health of its students. To allow a constituent to spiral into depression unchecked would be unforgivable failure on the council's duties. Well, that's easy then. I'm not depressed. But you're eating alone and nobody's seen you and Emmy together at all. Something happened, didn't it, Hee-chan? Misha's voice takes a slightly sterner tone, though somehow she keeps the familiar lit at the end of her sentence. I purse my lips, uncertain about how to respond. You know what? I'll give in. Well, I suppose someone else is knowing about my problem can't hurt. Heck, maybe Misha can even offer some advice. We had a fight at her house. I keep trying to get close to her and she won't let me get close, and I said something stupid and she threw me out. Have you talked to her since then? Misha looks genuinely concerned. I'm surprised. I almost expect her to drop the subject of finding out what the trouble was. Even more surprising how quickly I found myself spilling my guts to her. No, I haven't. I just can't bring myself to face her after that. I made a complete fool of myself, and she probably hates me now anyway, especially since I haven't seen her since then. You're pretty slow, Hee-chan. This doesn't sound like advice. Huh? Misha places her hands on her hips and launches into a speech that would sound more plausible coming from Suzune. The solution to your problem is simple. You have to go and apologize to her. Leaving things like this will make things worse. You can't know that she hates you, and now unless she tells you otherwise, there's no evidence that what you fear is true. And if you really care about her, shouldn't you be worried about how she's taking all this? With a sudden start, I realize she's right. I keep waking up to an early alarm because of me wants to meet Emmy in the track for our runs. I keep running because I know that Emmy would worry about me if I didn't stay healthy. When I went on the roof yesterday, I was half hoping that she would be up there and felt disappointed when she wasn't. I'm an idiot. Kinda, Hee-chan. So, go and apologize as soon as you can, okay? I open my mouth to say I'll do it right away, but the lunch bell rings and I realize that I still have an afternoon class to attend. First thing after class is over, I'll go see her, I promise. And thanks for your advice. Thanks for the advice, I guess. Misha beams at me as if I were a child that just learned his ABCs. Good. I'll let Hee-chan know that you're okay then. Yeah, you do that. With a wave and a completely disregarding the fact that people are starting to trickle back in this classroom as opposed to out of it. Excuse me. Misha departs the classroom. I suppose she and Suzune have student council business again. While the afternoon wears on, I find myself impatient for lessons to end. I need to see Emmy now. I have to try to set things right. Even if Emmy hates me now, I have to at least apologize. I owe her that much. I should meet her in the room. No, I decided it would delay things too much. If I know Emmy, then I can find her at the track. Still, I have no idea what I'm going to say when I get there, but I take comfort in knowing that Emmy probably wouldn't have a plan for something like this either. Play it by ear, stop being nervous, and just get to the track. Figure the rest out when I get there. The track looms ahead, and the jolt of nerves hits me in the gut. I resist the urge to turn and walk away. Instead, note this with satisfaction that I was right. Emmy is still ready. I won't make myself immediately known. I find a seat in the bleachers and watch her run instead, thinking back to earlier meetings. After a few trips around the track, Emmy notices me and skids to a halt. An expression of surprise that slides easily into one of anger. What are you doing here? Not quite the response I was hoping, but at this point, I don't have much of a choice. I want to apologize for what I said the other day. The other day? She laughs a certain explanation of disbelief. It's been almost a week, Hiso. Yeah, well, better late than never, right? Emmy crosses her arms and stares at me coolly as if sizing me up. Finally, she nods. I suppose you're right. Water under the bridge, then I forgive you. Is that all? In her almost impatient question catches me off guard. She's already halfway down the track before I can think to shout after her. No, wait. She doesn't seem to have heard me, or she doesn't want to hear me, so I give chase, disregarding completely the fact that I'm not dressed for it. My feet hurt and my shirt collar feels like a nose around my neck, but I chase after her because if I don't, I lose my chance. Emmy hasn't started to really accelerate yet, which is probably the only reason why I'm able to catch up to her, to reach out and tap her on the shoulder just before my legs give up running in dress shoes and stumble to a stop. Surprisingly, unfortunately, all the running seems to have paid off. I'm sort of breath, yes, but at least my heart isn't actively trying to force its way out of my ribcage. My touch on her shoulder has stopped Emmy, and while there is a flash of concern when she sees me catching my breath, it seems that it has a good idea of what I'm capable of too. The concern is short-lived. What? She seems so irritated at my being still there that I almost lose my nerve, but I had lost my nerve enough. I need to explain myself why I can't just let the matter rest. Emmy folds her arms and bounces on the blade in the ground in approximation of tapping her foot. Impatiently angry as she is, and as nervous as I am, she still looks beautiful. Okay, so explain. The thing is, I know that you're really sensitive about the accident and about your dad. I can see Emmy's face twitch in the mention of two things that have been steadily driving us apart, or at least made me feel like we're being driven apart. But that's why I want to know about them, I think. Because I see how much they hurt you, and I want to be there to comfort you. It makes me miserable seeing you sleepless and depressed, and I don't want to pretend you aren't because I know, okay? I just remember that night when you fell asleep with me and had that nightmare, and that you were happy to have me there when you woke up. I want to be able to be there for you like that whenever you need me to be. Stern face cracks slightly and me interrupts before I can continue further. Just stop. Stop right there. We can't see each other anymore, okay? She's rushing now, looking everywhere, but at me I'm surprised she doesn't bolt. She knows I can't catch her. We're not right for each other, for one another. That's not true, and you know it. No, it's true. You're too. I know what I've been pushy about knowing your past. If you can't tell me yet, then at least let me be there, even I don't know the reason. It's okay, I promise. I won't ask why you need comfort. I'll just give it freely. Emmy's shaking her head, and her tears seem to be retreating to the corners of her eyes. Stop saying that. Why? Because you're afraid you'll take me up on it? I'm not afraid. I can't keep the cheating tone from her voice as I respond. Yes, you are. You told me so yourself, remember? That's okay, really, isn't it? However, it seems to me that someone who managed to come out of the wreck and still be as energetic and cheerful as you are would be determined enough to face that fear. Determination? What do you mean about determination? I know that there's a girl so determined to take care of a total stranger that she'd steal his foot at the festival. I know that there's a girl so determined to help me with my own problems that she'd draw up a complete dietary and exercise plan, that she'd not only draw up the plans, but she'd follow them with me even when she couldn't run. Determined enough to keep me at arm's length, that she'd put herself through emotional pain if she thought it was the right thing to do. Although there is one thing that this determined girl didn't quite plan for, which was that I might feel the same kind of determination to keep her from being hurt. I fell in love with you, and I refuse to let that be thrown away because you're afraid of losing me. With little control Amy still has at this point cracks, and I find myself suddenly enveloped in her embrace as she cries. Why are you doing this? Why can't you just leave me alone? I hold her close and plant a kiss on the top of her head. I'm sorry, Amy, you helped me when I first arrived, so I have to help you. It's only fair. You're really hopeless, did you know that? She hiccups and trembles a little bit. Funny, I could say the same about you. Can you do something for me, Hiso? Anything. Can you go now? Feels like she's just shoved the knives through my chest. Go. I need to think, okay? I can't just tell you everything yet. I'm still scared, and when you're around, I can't think clearly. But do me a favor. What's that? Show up for our morning run tomorrow. I smile, feeling better than I have all week. Of course, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Emmy sips back slowly, almost reluctantly. She sniffles a little and then grins at me, a real smile that lights up the track, overpowering the fading evening's light. See you tomorrow, Hiso. Okay. She darts forward, suddenly planting a soft kiss on my lips, then steps back shyly. Spinning on her back foot, she takes off running again, and I know that our conversation's at an end. My lips tingle with the warmth of that brief kiss and the memories of our other longer kisses. I walk back to my room with a spring in my step. Tomorrow, when my alarm goes off, I'll get up. Looks like I picked the right choices. Motion. Act 4. The morning sun is bright, so through my open window, and the sound of my alarm quickly has me up and about. I slept surprisingly well last night, secure in the knowledge that at least I've got another chance with Emmy. If I can just keep myself from doing anything stupid, maybe I'll find out what's been eating her recently. I have a few educated guesses, but nothing concrete, and certainly nothing that I'm going to say to her. I'd much prefer to have her tell me herself. Emmy is waiting for me as promised, looking a little haggard, but otherwise bright and cheerful, much more so than any previous day this week. Hiso, you're late. I waved my hand in dismissal. Nonsense, you're just early. Emmy grins back, and it feels like we're finally back where we should be with one another. Excuse me. Except now, not just me wants to take another step forward, although part of me worries that she'll be back out at the last second. Hurry up and stretch, so I don't want to miss the bus. The bus? Yeah, the bus. I want to show you something, and I don't want to be late. Okay. I try not to grin too wide. I'm happy beyond words Enemy wants to hang out after the run at all, but a promise of showing me something has me even more intrigued. Is this what she had to think about? I wonder just what she was planning to do. I quickly go through my warm-up while Emmy bounces impatiently from one foot. Yeah, intriguing, isn't it? To the other, she really does seem to want to get moving as soon as possible. Yeah, like I said, the writing for this is really good. The disabilities with the characters are not their entire trait. They actually are just one facet of the characters. They do have plenty of personality to them. The run is over so quickly, I can barely believe that I haven't fallen over dead. Afterwards, Emmy set a blistering pace, and I, in my foolish, kept up with her. Wait until the last few steps. I had to slow down just in case, but I don't mind, and Emmy's waiting patiently for me when I finish. As patiently as she can wait, anyway. Finished? Good. Come on. Okay, she is being pushy, I'm telling you what. This is strange behavior. Grabbing my arm, she practically rushed me down to the nurse's office. You seem in a hurry, Emmy, trying to catch the early bus. Yeah, I told Mom I'd be back for lunch. Well, I'll take care of you first then. But Hiso's gotta come with me too. The nurse raises a single eyebrow at this statement and peers at the two of us searchingly. Really, today, huh? Emmy's response is a nod, followed by a surprisingly shy grin. Well then, we'll make this quick. Emmy enters the nurse office as I patiently wait outside for her to be finished, wondering just why the nurse seemed to be surprised by Emmy's declaration. I feel like I'm missing out on some joke or the significance of today, beyond the fact that it is clearly significant in some way, of course. True to his word, the nurse has Emmy out of his office surprisingly quick, and I take her place after promising to meet up at the front gate. The nurse takes my pulse and listens for a bit. Your heartbeat's faster than usual. Been pushing yourself again, have you? Well, Emmy seemed to rush to get through the run, so... I'm not surprised. Today is rather important to her, you know? I suspected that could be the case, but I have no idea why that's the case. She hasn't told you. Interesting. So you're not going to tell me either, huh? No, I'm not. I'm suspecting Emmy has her own plan for explaining today to you, and I don't want to mess with that. You'll find out soon enough, so what's the rush? Now, for your heart, I would take it easy for the rest of the day. No spontaneous racing or anything like that. Got it? Got it. She won't have her running legs on anyway. Anyway, right? No, but if you think something like that's going to stop her. Good point. I don't think it'll be much of an issue today, of all days, but still. If she's trying to reassure me, he's doing a terrible job. I'm quickly becoming more and more worried about what today could be for, like suddenly finding out Emmy's in a cult or something. Oh my word. I highly doubt that's the case, but intriguing nonetheless. At the same time, if today is such a big deal, Emmy wants me to be with her for, then maybe she really does want to grow close to me. Maybe this will be the answer to all the riddles, to the sleepless nights, and to sudden mood swings. Either way, I barely remember to thank the nurse before taking off as quickly as I dare from my room to get a shower and throw on some decent looking clothes. If today is important as it seems to be, I should dress appropriately. Emmy, of course, proves me wrong as soon as I reach the front gate, wearing her usual shirts and shorts, so at least I know it's not a terribly formal affair, whatever it is. You're early, Hiso. Not as early as you eager are we? Emmy cheekily pokes out her tongue. The bus stop isn't very crowded at this hour and seems to please Emmy, and we end up relaxing a little as we wait. We sit in silence for a while, but I can tell that Emmy's trying to work herself up to say something. I don't have anything to say myself, so I sit waiting for her, talk to her. It doesn't take too long. So I'm sure you're curious as to why the nurse thought it was so weird for me to be bringing you along today. I was a bit yes, but if you're not ready to tell me. Emmy stops my sentence and placing my finger on my lips. Don't tempt me, Hiso. I want to tell you this, but I'm just uncertain as how to go about it. I don't want to keep delaying or deferring. I just want to be able to say it. So say it. You know it's not going to be that easy for me, Hiso. So treat it like running. Warm it up to it and say something small and easy and go from there. But don't do it too fast, okay? I'm a patient man and I can wait for you to get to it. Emmy seems concerned by words, weighing them against what is probably a desire to get it over with. I will admit, as much as I keep telling Emmy to take her time, I wouldn't mind her getting it over with either. But somehow I know that Emmy probably needs more time than the bus ride will provide to get it all out. Whatever it is. Yeah, maybe you're right. The bus stops probably isn't the best place for this anyway. But just to make sure that I don't go back on my word, I'll at least say this. She takes a deep breath, lets it out, and after a moment says in a low voice, "We're going to see my dad today." The words hang in the air, and I can see that Emmy's afraid that I'll panic and disappear in response, which is part of me almost wants to do. But it would be stupid of me to back out or suddenly abandon the promise I made to be there for me when she needs me. The nurse thought it was so weird of her to bring me along. She doesn't bring anyone along, or at least I'm willing to bet that she hasn't before today. The day seems to take an even greater significance. What has it taken Emmy to even get this far? And why is that the best I can manage the response? Yeah. I don't know what I should say. Nothing, I think just promise that you're going to come with me. Of course, you know I won't. Emmy smiles Whaley, looking a little relieved. Good. In that case, we'd better get going. The bus pulls up a little after she finishes the sentence. The vague memories of my first trip out here come to mind as I step off the bus, but unfortunately, they're too vague to be of any use. I'll be the first to admit that I don't quite recall how to get Amy's house, so I let her lead the way. She seems content to walk in silence, and I myself have no idea what I could possibly say, so the two of us arrive at her house, having said nothing since getting off the bus. Emmy's mother opens the door and doesn't seem surprised to see me standing next to her daughter. I expected Emmy would have phoned ahead to let her mother know of the change of plans. Emmy, Hiso, you're just in time. Lunch is just about ready. Great, I was afraid we might be running late. As fast as you were going this morning, I doubt there was much of a chance of that. I certainly hope she wasn't too much of a bother, Hiso. She tends to get a little paranoid about being on time when food's involved. I hadn't noticed. This earns me a swat on the arm from Emmy, who It's time for me to go. It's very late. I need to get some sleep. All right, no, don't worry, man. I'll be here. If you want, come back and watch the VOD, so that way you can see where I leave off. And I like to do Katawa shoujo every Sunday, but have a good have a good rest. Later, Zone. This earns me a swat at the arm from Emmy, who, despite the serious nature of our conversation on the bus and almost brooding, quiet walk, has quickly become cheerful again. Probably to keep her mother from worrying about whatever it is Emmy's plans to tell me later. Miss Abrazaki ushers us in, and in short order, we're around the table devouring lunch. I hadn't realized how hungry I was until I got here, but for once, I seem to be eating almost as much as Emmy. Goodness, it's a good thing I made so much. The two of you are acting like you haven't eaten days. I skipped breakfast this morning. Me too. Had to catch the bus, I assumed. That, and I figured you'd make too much food, so I wouldn't matter if I skipped breakfast. Well, it's good to know that I'm predictable. Emmy nods enthusiastically, and the conversation falls off again as we very nearly clear the table of anything edible. It is a testament to the sheer amount of food on offer that we don't finish everything. I lean back in my chair with a sigh and thank Miss Abrazaki for the food. I'm glad you liked it, Hiso. Now, has Emmy told you where we are going? Yep, see you then. Yeah, sort of. It isn't far from here. Not really, but we'll drive there to save time. It's close. It closes kind of early. I nod assistant and stand up ready to go. Well then, shall we? Ms. Arbaki nods and leaves the room and grabs her key. Emmy, I notice, has started to fidget nervously. Second thoughts? Emmy smiles tightly and shrugs. She's fallen silent again, which probably means that I'm right. And she's starting to regret bringing me along. Not that I blame her. She's done such a good job as shutting me out that I doubt it's easy to suddenly open up. Honestly, I'm worried that she's forcing it. But she said while waiting for the bus that I'm not supposed to give her a chance to back out, and since I promised to go with her anyway, I suppose there's not much of a choice. I can't go back on my promise, and she can't go back on hers. I still hope the both of us are up to it. We're off. Emmy's mother blows through the dinner room, collects the two of us, and heads out the door at the brisk pace. Now I know where her daughter gets it from. Sorry about that. The car pulls up to the cemetery gates, and I feel Emmy tense up beside me. I reach over and I grab her hand, comfortingly squeezed, which causes her to relax a little. Emmy's mother doesn't follow us explain, as she prefers to visit the grave alone. Emmy steps to the gate and looks to the gate and looks back as if to make sure I'm still there. We step into the cemetery. I don't feel comfortable in cemeteries. Gravestones litter the ground, each one serving as a reminder that someone used to be alive and is no longer. How many died young? How many were as old as I am now? When do I wind up with a marker on my own? How much longer do I got left? Do I have left? The concept of not waking up, not seeing Emmy anymore, is not a happy one. It frightens me, and very nearly turn around and exit then and there. I don't want to go. I don't want to go among dead people. I don't want to see their stones. And I think about who they were and what they could have been if they were only had more time. Then I look at the girl next to me, and resolve returns. And me striding purposely down the path, eyes clear, setting a pace that's very nearly a jog. The sooner we get there, I suspect she thinks the better. We're here. Yep, I knew it. A gravestone, wholly unremarkable in every except for the name etched upon the grass. It is grown around the base. Emmy's eyes are riveted to the stone. After a few moments, she turns around looking surprised and calm, yet solemn. Pink's not actually my favorite color, you know. Or what? I'm warming up to it. People tend to think that pink's my favorite color. I think it's because I like strawberries. Even though those are red, they just assume that pink's the right color for strawberries. And that's my favorite color, but it's not. I'm too polite to tell everyone otherwise, of course, and it's not kind of a thing worth getting worried about, but I'll bet even though you thought pink was my favorite color. Blue, that's my favorite color. My mom and dad are the only two who know that, and now you do too. Thanks for telling me, I think. You're welcome. That's a pause as she considers what to say next, drawing a quick breath. Can't carry a tune to save my life. I can hum, but actually singing song is something I'll never be able to do. I don't mind because I'm not a fan of karaoke anyway. Well, that's one potential date idea out the window. People all think that I'm a really popular and friendly person, but I only have a few close friends, probably because I keep everyone in the dark. But I think it's also because I hate the idea of losing a close friend. There aren't many people worth the risk. I'm terrible at saying goodbye. Sometimes think that I only run because it's what I used to do with my father. You're not my first boyfriend. I dated a guy for a long time while during my second year at Yamaku, but in the end we broke up because I didn't want to get close to him. He couldn't live with that distance between us. Her rate of speaking increases slightly as if she's rushing towards the finish line. I'm actually 1 year older than you. Everyone thinks I'm younger because I'm short. But I had to skip 1 year of school because of my accident. Initially thought I was paralyzed when they pulled me out of the wreck. I lost my legs already, but they were afraid I wouldn't even be able to use what was left of them. After surgery, it was clear that their initial assessment was mistaken. I couldn't feel my legs because of shock, short-term paralysis due to other trauma I'd experienced. My recovery was one of the fastest they'd ever seen, or so they told me. I never found out if they were serious about that or if they told that all to other patients. Learning to walk again. She pauses, gathering herself for one last effort. 8 years ago today, I lost my legs. I lost my father as well. He died on the way to the hospital. I didn't even get to go to the gravestone until 2 months later, and I couldn't attend his funeral. Sorry, I'm just... Gosh. I need to blow my nose real quick. Oh, sorry about that. And couldn't even attend his funeral. I'm so sorry. Don't be, that's what everyone always says, that they're sorry. I hate hearing that, like anyone could have done anything to change what happened. You know, the best piece of advice I got, these things happen. I don't even remember who said it, but I guess they don't have anything better to say. But it's true, you know, these things happen and there's nothing you can do about it. They aren't necessarily planned and they aren't always bad and they aren't always good, but they are. So I made the decision that I would live without worrying about the future, and to be sure that I never had to say goodbye again, I decided I wouldn't let people get close to me anymore. After all, they could be taken away at any time, and you know what? She laughs a little bitterly. Her eyes started to well up in tears. I stepped forward and embraced her, but she holds a hand to stop me. Not finished. A deep breath, and she continues. Works pretty well until I met you and saw that you were trying to adjust to stuff here, so I thought I'd help, and then you were so nice and I couldn't help it. The tears are flowing now. She accepts the embrace this time, and the rest of her sentence is mumbled into my chest. Try not to fall for you, but I did, and then I tried to keep you at a distance like with my first boyfriend, but I couldn't. But I've been so scared because I don't want to lose you, and I might anyway. Hey, I'm still around, right? And maybe I won't be forever, but don't you think it'd be fun while it lasts? Neither of us could survive the day there. It could be a bus crash or something, but so long as I know I've been with you, I don't think it matters. Some thought strikes me. I can't help laugh. My condition has scarred me at dying so badly that I immediately seized on the opportunity and improved my odds of living longer. But without Emmy, would there have been any motivation to keep up with my running? It hits me with that Emmy is the reason I want to go running every day, so I can spend as much time with her as possible. Emmy looks up at me confused. We'll go on living until we stop, and then we stop living. We'll be able to know that at least we have had time together, and I wouldn't have it any other way because I love you, Emmy, and right now that's enough for me. Emmy smiles through the tears and steps back from me. You know, Emmy, it's funny. What is it? I thought the best way to live in the moment was to do it alone, but I don't think I'd have it any other way either. I'm glad I met you, Hiso. Well, these things happen. Emmy and I stay at the grave for a while as Emmy pays her respects to her father. When she's ready to go, we'll exit the grave side by side. Emmy's mother drives us back to Yamaku. The trip back is very quiet. We wave goodbye as the car drives off, and I glance down at the girl leaning on my arm. How are you feeling? Emmy shrugs non-communicably. I'll be fine. Come on, let's go. We pause outside the girl's dorm, and I turn to face Emmy, ready to say goodbye. Why don't you come up for a while? Okay. We walk up to her room in silence. I'm not sure why. I suppose to be turned away at the door. Guess I assumed she'd want to be alone. Her mom, the nurse, hell, everyone who knows the significance today seemed to think it's best to leave Emmy alone. But she took me into the graveyard with her. She told me the whole story of what happened on that day. She lost her legs. She wanted me around. The significance of this does not escape me. Emmy opens the door and steps into a room, and not even bothering to invite me in, holding the door for me expectantly. I step in and the door swings shut behind me. Hey, can I ask you a favor? Sure, can't guarantee I'll do it, but Anne pulls me into a kiss and starts out soft but deepens into something almost desperate. Stay with me, please. Her voice disrupted, whispering quite barely audible over the sound of my own breathing. There's something about the way she asks that question, she hesitantly in it, and quiet voice that makes me think she doesn't mean tonight. No, she means exactly what she said. Stay with me. Not tonight or forever, because the both of us know there's no such thing as forever. There's no time limit to her request. There's just the request. A favor. Can I do that? Can I stay with her? Of course. We embrace again, Emmy guiding me towards the bed, stepping backwards with care, and sits down on the ledge. I collapse next to Emmy, who almost immediately curls against me. For a while, we lay in silence, savoring the feeling being next to one another. Emmy is the first to speak. Hello, hey, Hiso. Thanks for coming to me today. I smile and plant a kiss on her forehead. Of course, my pleasure. Emmy snuggles closer, and I can feel her breathing begin to slacken as she begins to drift off to sleep. Just as she's about to fall asleep, she wakes up enough to mutter a single sentence. I love you, Hiso. Then she's out like a light, leaving me feeling like I'm on top of the world. I draw the slumbering Emmy close as possible, pull the covers over us to keep the chill off, and fall asleep as happily as I've ever been. Alright. I'll probably go for a little bit longer and then I'll end it there. The morning light seems to reach further in Timmy's room than it does into mine. The result of me waking up early than I would have if I had gone back to my room last night, as had previously been our routine. I did not realize it until this morning, but this is the first time we've actually spent the night together. Small movement from my partner still slumbering form causes me to look at the side. Her sprawled across her face and me continued to sleep peacefully, curled up next to me. It's slightly weird seeing her without her trademark twin tails, but it's also a look I could get used to. The small size of the beds are here necessities her curling up, but I'm pretty sure she could have done so anyway. The covers are nearly over her head, and a small strand of hair causes her nose to twitch slightly. Unable to help myself, I draw her a little closer, to a move which she seems to think is a good idea. Her steady breath raises a trail of goosebumps across my chest, but I don't mind. I'm no longer tired, but I do feel like I need to move from my current position. Emmy's warm body in response against mine is far too comfortable to move. I gaze up at the ceiling, consider how it is that we got to this point. We've been close for a while, but not this close. It seems only yesterday that she ran into me in the hallway and after apologizing decided to take an interest in my well-being. But that grew into something else which I at least was not expecting. One thing is for certain, having found Emmy, I will try as hard as I can not to lose her. My morning musing is interrupted by further movement from Emmy. Her eyes fluttered open and she seems briefly confused by my presence in her bed. Then she smiles happily and sits up, her face looking down at me. Good morning, Hiso. Hi, sleep well? Yeah, I did exhausting. I did exhausting yesterday, you know. I think back every yesterday trip to the graveyard. Yeah, glad to hear you slept well. How'd you sleep? Well enough, although you kept hugging the covers. This earns me a shove and then a stuck-out tongue. I chuckle and Emmy giggles a little bit and we fall quiet for a while. I soak up the feeling of how right it is. All seems waking up Emmy by me, crammed into a bed made for one person. It's something I could get used to. Hey, Hiso. Thanks for sticking around. No problem. Save me the walk back anyway, right? This draws another giggle, but then Emmy's expression turns serious again. Not really. I kept trying to push you away because I thought that was the right thing to do, and you stuck around through it all. I haven't made any of this easy for you, but you stuck it out anyway. So really, I mean it. Thank you. She punctuates this by giving me a kiss, pulling back and looking at me with an expression of affection. I reach up and ruffle her hair, smiling all the while. I'm stupidly lucky, I think, to have this come through. Everything after my heart attack, and somehow have found this girl is little short of a miracle. You're very welcome, Emmy. I couldn't bear the thought of giving you up. I'll have to continue to stick around if you want. I'd like that. This settles it then. I don't know how long my heart will keep working, and I don't even really know what I'll do after this year is over, apart from going to university. As long as Emmy's around, I think I'll be okay. I managed to help her, and she's managed to help me. If we keep doing that, we'll be okay, I think. So, Hiso, what do you want to do today? Oh! I finished. Okay. Okay, so that was Emmy's ending. Okay. So I actually picked all the right choices. Cool, cool. There are all the people's names. Stir-fried weasel. VCR. Pay Tom. Right tire. Replicated. Special thanks. 4-Leaf Studios. All right. Let's see. What happens when I start another one? Oh, it just restarts. I'll have to. All right. All right. Quit. Yes. All right. Let me go ahead and go. Hold on. I'll be right back. Thank you. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Earlier. Yeah. I've actually got stuff to. Thank you for the compliment. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I do intend to continue more of Katawa Shoujo on Sunday so I can get the rest of the girls' endings. I just need to find out how to do that. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. Glad you had a good time. And I was finally able to get stuff together today. If you do not know this about me, which you probably don't, I collect old retro consoles. I own a PlayStation 2, a Nintendo 64, a GameCube, a Wii, a PS3, and a Super Nintendo. PS3 is old enough that it's considered retro. Gosh, that makes me feel old. Anyway, all those consoles I do have plenty of games for. And I've been in the background, slowly but surely, getting everything set up to where I can start actually streaming them. I recently got a much better capture card that actually lets me do that. I have a there, so I will be start streaming retro games. I've got stuff. I can stream stuff on the Nintendo 64 with what games I do have. I can stream. I've got Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo. I've got. What's I got? I've got the original F Zero, Star Fox. All of this, I don't have to emulate anything. I will be able to capture it directly onto my computer. So I've got that stuff planned in the future. Although I do need to get something else for the PS3 because the PS3 prevents actual capture. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Um yeah, this this avatar I've been using for a while. Yeah, like I was saying, I do plan on actually finally doing retro gaming for streaming. I've been trying to get this done in a long time, and I was finally able to get everything working today. It was a bit of a pain in the butt to deal with, but I got it done. And the games, for games, the Wii is going to be. I'm gonna have to set up the Wii somehow. Um, since it that's going to be the more difficult one because it's got the most controls and everything. But once like the Nintendo 64 and the Super Nintendo, those will be really easy. And then of course there's the ones like the GameCube. And uh at some point I do want to actually capture game footage on my handhelds because I've got a 3DS and a DS Lite, and I've also got a Game Boy Color. Um, with my sister was able to get me a Game Boy Color Great Purple with Pokemon Red, the original copy from the Game Boy, and she paid less than $80 for it. I don't know how she did it, but she managed to do that. So yeah, there is. I am fine. So yes, this announcement on this stream is I'm gonna finally be able to set up where I'm going to be streaming retro games off of the original hardware. I wanted to do this for a while, and I'm now finally able to do it. So that's something you guys can look forward to, and it hopefully will bring other people in, since I do know that there's a lot of people that actually want to see stuff played on the original hardware. And yeah, I do have a lot of hard to find games. I've got, let's see, for my GameCube, I have Geist. Geist is one of the more expensive first person shooters, but I have a copy of that. I have several first person shooters that came on the GameCube. I also have Super Smash Bros. Melee. I have a game called Odama. And I do have an original copy of The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I have that too. Complete in box, mind you. Oh, and yes, I have all original OEM controllers for the GameCube. So that'll be fun. And I also have a really good racing game called Extreme G3 Racing. That'll be fun to play on stream. And I also have Mario Party 7 that I also have Mario Party 7, Mario Kart Double Dash I have a copy of as well, and something I'm saving for Halloween or at some point later this year, but I have a copy of Luigi's Mansion, and I also have Super Mario Sunshine. And I have two original copies of Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. That game is still stuck on the GameCube, and honestly, in my personal opinion, that is the best Metroid. That is the best Prime game out of the four. And then, of course, I do want to stream at some point an original copy of Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. I'll be able to stream that. I've also got a copy of Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. I've also got a copy of that too. So, yeah. And like I said, I've got a copy of Super Metroid. And instead of playing these things through emulation through the Switch, I'll be able to play it on the directly from the original hardware. And I do also have a copy of Super Mario Kart as well. And I'll have to, like I said, I'll have to Oh, I've also got an original copy of Clue for the Super Nintendo as well. That'll be fun. I actually have that one complete in box with the manual. I also have that one complete in box with the manual as well. So that's the only copy of a Super Nintendo game that I actually have. It has a box and the manual and everything with the plastic in it. That that's fun. And for the games to the Wii that I can probably play without the motion controls, but I'll have to do a bit of a setup just because it's the Wii, but I'm pretty sure I can do it. Um I have Muramasa the Demon Blade. That one is really good. I also have a copy of Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock for the Wii that I can play on stream. I think that shit, I can't play that one because of copyright music. Forget about that one. I've also got Punch Out. I can play with the controller. I've also got Mario Kart Wii. So I've got plenty of Wii games I can play that I can set up everything. I can finally also start streaming PS4 games again, and I can stream some Disgaea. I enjoyed that series quite a bit. I also have some games for my PS2. I don't have a ton of PS2 games, but if you would like me to play something on the PS2, I can see about getting a copy of that game and make it happen. So, and I also have PlayStation 1 games. I've got um Final Fantasy Anthology. I've got Final Fantasy 8. I've got Chrono Cross, an original copy of Metal Gear Solid, a couple other titles. And I've got a pretty that's so cool. I'm super into retro gaming too. I have to go, but it was great watching you. Until next time, that would be great. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, that would be a massive help because this is something I've had in the works for years. And yeah, I'm just about to end stream now. I want to thank you all for being here, and I will be making an announcement on my X account, and I will be making a post on my YouTube. So I want to thank you all for attending. I will be eagerly waiting for you guys here the next time I stream. And yeah, so I wish you all the best, and I'll see you next time. This is the Rider. I'm out.